After hearing reports of a vicious old man taking up residence in Hotel Victory, the Master Detective makes their way there to investigate what can only be Victor Dalmar. This version of Victor, it turns out, is the same one that jumped into a time machine at the end of Return to Ravenhurst. In a bungled attempt to try to find his father, he ends up traveling to various different wrong locations, and ends up trapping himself and other people from your past adventures in a time rift in Hotel Victory. After the Master Detective themselves steps into Hotel Victory, they are also caught in the time rift, and it is up to them to save everyone from the time rift, send them all back to their correct times, and stop Victor once and for all. This game was a disappointment, to say the least. It started out promising. It was an interesting setup. The animation style was different, using a more cartoony style, which I actually didn't mind, especially compared to the more Uncanny Valley animation from the previous games. And the first round hopped back to Huntsville-style gameplay, which gave me a nice little burst of nostalgia. And then... that was the game. Just Huntsville-style gameplay. I was expecting much more of a trip down memory lane. Like, each character was trapped in a different game's location and time, so you get sent back to that location and, recreates that game as you attempt to find the character. Because after all, this was a time rift, and the game could have very easily done that. But instead, all we got was Huntsville, Prime Suspect, Ravenhurst, Mountain Fate. The things that I found boring about those games were on full display here. And there were 10 rounds. I had to sit through 10 rounds of the same gameplay over and over and over and over again. And before each round, there was a little animation of the detective running down the same hallway to the same door over and over and over and over again. They didn't even really switch up the animations that much, and it's not like you could skip it, you had to watch it every single time. Not even sprinkling in what they call super puzzles a la Ravenhurst was helpful, because even those got boring after a while. At the very end of the game, something big and bad is happening, and it's very clear from the music that you're supposed to care. But at that point, I just didn't. On top of that, the thing you have to do to try to stop the big bad thing is a matching game. I don't think I've ever been this disappointed in a Mystery Case Files game since 13 Skull, and honestly, I think I'm more disappointed in this one. To me, one of the most annoying things that any piece of media can do is not act on potential. A fully bad piece of media with no real redeeming qualities is annoying, obviously. But to have a form of media that gets so close to something good and then just veers away from it is even more annoying. I feel that way about Muppets Wizard of Oz, which I haven't talked about yet on this channel, but I might at some point. I feel that way about the musical Top Job, which I have talked about on this channel. And I feel that way about this game. There was potential here to make a good game, and I feel like the creators of it just kind of got lazy, which is disappointing because I know that they can do better. The only thing stopping me from rating this game lower is the cartoony animation, which I enjoy, and the little bit of nostalgia that this game does give me at the very beginning. But nostalgia cannot hide a bad game, and to me anyway, this is just a bad game. So, 4 out of 10. And with that being said, to my friends and fellow VEDSies, I will see all of you